Buonasera a tutti. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? And welcome to another edition of Culture with Reno Z. It is a great honor to have the TURIN Giants, Dave and Dash, because I always get confused with you guys.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going, guys?
Oh, excellent, excellent. Thanks for having us on. Thanks for having us on. It's a panel of four, so I think we're getting into it. I think we have the boxing stances already set in place here. So, thanks for having us on.
Well, thank you for having me last time. So it's a pleasure to have you guys on. Then, of course, we got Mr. Santino. Let's say my vice president. Surprised he doesn't have his Boston hat on. How's it going, Santino?
It's on.
It's still on.
Oh, it's there.
That's good. Good to be back. What's up, everybody? Nice to meet everybody. Let's get the show on the road. Bada bing, bada boom.
You're on fire. You're on fire.
Yeah. See, look, he's in the boxing stance. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's Santino. When it comes to these lives, he gets fired up, especially when he has something to say.
I'll try to keep it nice and calm, Stasera.
Yeah, don't worry. You can do whatever you want if you want to swear. That doesn't matter to me, man. Before anything, put a like, subscribe, and of course, subscribe to these guys. I'm pretty sure the majority of you already know the TURIN Giants, so it is a great honor, which I was surprised when you guys called me last time, so it's an honor to have you guys on my show tonight.
Hey, just like hanging out with fellow Juventini. We're all good. Everyone's good.
Yeah, it's going to be a Juventini night. We have Anthony Lafrere. Buonasera, gents. Thank you. Then we have Salcat Granderino and David. You're killing my schedule.
Yeah, he's in Germany.
Sorry, bro.
As it is.
Mom, I mean, next time I try to do a super early one. How's that? So let's get in.
It's fine. Let's not worry. It's just German, Dave. It's okay.
So let's get into some business. Of course, we're going to talk about Juve. I'm pretty sure all of us, we talked about this famous Sassuolo game whatsoever. But to keep it short and calm, we'll start with Dave, Dash, and of course, Mr. Santino. Then we'll rotate. What do you guys think about this Juve? Are we kind of back and on track? Are we seeing a different Juve? A Juve that we will love to see? Because after the Coppa Italia 4-0, then seeing against Sassuolo 3-0, then especially my boy Chiesa score and Vlahovic is such a beauty. Start with you, Dave. What are your thoughts? Are we going to see some beautiful action on our way?
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, of course. But what I'm seeing is quite beautiful. I know others may disagree, but I'm loving Cortomuso this year. I don't care. I know I've heard Catenaccio, Cortomuso, Allegri ball, terrace ball. I heard them all. I don't care. It's beautiful, and I'm down for the cause.
Well, let's say these last two games, it's more like a super Muso for me, not Cortomuso, because they've been scoring more than one goal. So yeah, I call it super Muso. Then we'll see with Lecce if they'll go back with the Cortomuso. But we'll see. Dash, what are your thoughts?
I think there's a couple of things that we're developing well. I think the main thing that needs to be recognized that the fino alla fine attitude is back. It's there. Like, for example, you'll have games that you can win 2-3-0, 2-1 or 1-0. Ironically, some of the 1-0 games have been kind of entertaining. Like, for example, I loved the aggressiveness they took towards Roma. Especially with, the hard challenges and just kind of out Mourinhoing Mourinho in that match in a sense. When it comes to, what kind of Juve are we going to see? In my opinion, it's one of those calma, tranquilo. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's not entirely there yet. Because one of the things that Dave and I have commented the entire season on, this Juve this season is coming together in bits, right? The first piece was the back line that was the first thing to really show its colors. Now you're seeing the midfield kind of start, with the rise of McKennie, the rise of Cambiaso as well, because nobody expected Cambiaso to perform the way that he's performing right now. Unless that person did, I want to talk to them because they need to give me lottery money, lottery ticket money.
Yeah.
McKennie as well. I think there's still more growth to way Locatelli has been secretly, because I haven't noticed him developing and growing. Rabiot as well becoming that guy. I think is the only person that we kind of want to see a little bit more from. And finally, our forwards are scoring because there was, I believe, an 8-game stretch that none of them were capable of finding the net. The chances were there, just not bearing them. And now they're starting to convert. So I think we're going in a positive trajectory, and I like where we're going. This is something that you can see, and it's sustainable. It's not streaky wins or something that I don't think so. Now that it looks like all the pieces are falling together, it's really fun to watch.
See, I go and try to get excited and do the hype show, and then Dash is like, no, like, sit down.
It's fire and ice,
Listen
man.
for a second.
That's why they love us.
Yeah, I've seen that with you guys. Well, I can't complain, but let's wait and see. But before I go to Santino, we got a paisan over here, Mr. Tony Trent. Buonasera. And one more thing, paisano, altri 3 anni, another 3 years. No, thank you. We've been dealing with Allegri for 10 years, but we'll see what happens. We'll get into Allegri after. Then David, Allegri is a painting. I'm pretty sure Santino will cover that. Santino, the man himself.
Yeah.
Why? Tell me your thoughts.
A little bit of both. What both those two gentlemen above me and to my left were saying. Reno, I've been saying it for the whole year. I'm not a big admirer of our midfield. I think that's where our weakness is. Our defense is grade A. Chesney, our goaltending's been great. I don't like our mid. I think that could be a big improvement. So I'm hoping now in January we pick up somebody, but who knows with this Juventus team, because they never really give us any, indication if they're going to get anybody. Always a last minute swoop. So I'm hoping for Samaritic or maybe Miners from Atalanta. I don't know. We'll see. It's good to see the strikers popping in the goals. My buddy Vlatistuta. Finally, we see Vlatistuta. Finally, scoring some 2 beauties there. Chiesa coming off the bench scoring. And, of course, the Turkish delight. Beautiful player for the future. I think we're going to So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Even Trent, he's been saying it since the beginning. He was pretty positive about it. I give him credit. The biggest difference between you and at this current moment and the beginning of the season is they are capitalizing on their chances. Well, nobody expect that, but I'm pretty shocked because even Santino always said, we have our defensive Gatti scoring, not these Rimbambini. And now we're finally seeing Vlahovic and Chiesa. But let's see how the next games, and I want to see them going. So let's open up to see on Sunday, the classic Cortomus, because I will lose my mente. Then we got Saka.
Truth be told,
Tell me.
Whether they win 1-0 or they win 5-0, as long as they get 3 punti, that's all that matters, buddy.
No, I get it, man. But sometimes, man, I get your point. But even
this is not Barcelona of Guardiola's Barcelona, buddy. It is what it is. 3 points is 3 points. However they get it, buddy.
No, I understand. But like the Salernitana game, I was sleeping, man. And then finally, Vlahovic scored. I know this momentum fino alla fine. But then the Sassuolo was like a beauty. I want to see more. I know we have to balance, like one of my paisanos told me in Italy. So let's wait and see.
Sounds like you need more espresso pregame.
Watching these games, yeah, of course.
Just watch the games with Dave. He'll make sure you don't fall asleep. Dave's watch-alongs are very entertaining.
I just punched it. Yeah,
he just punches tables.
I should. Well, when I watch the games, I don't like to watch the watch-alongs too much because I'm the game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Understand.
What are you saying, Santino?
Yeah,
it sounds like me punching tables and TVs.
Oh, Santino, when he gets mad, he gets mad.
Sometimes
if Chiesa can stay healthy, then he can be the big factor for you guys in your run for the Scudetto. If I was Junda, I will try to extend Chiesa's contract.
He's
Well, you
trying.
got me
I think
off
that
guard. Do we want to talk about this famous Chiesa contract? I know Santina has a lot to talk about Chiesa because we've
Yeah,
been going back
I
and forth. I've been hearing you guys too. Aside from myself,
think he froze on us.
oh, he did freeze on us.
hold on a sec. Something's going on.
Yeah, I think
Well, we could probably, yeah, we'll let him figure his stuff out. We could probably roll with that thought.
Yeah, I mean, because right now the news did break, so it looks like Dusan is extending for another year to spread out the wages and amortize the salary. So, look, I'll open it up. It's not. I think Juve, they want to extend his contract. I think there is apprehension coming from the Chiesa camp as far as the contract renewal. I don't really know what it is, right? Unfortunately, I don't work at the Conte Nasa, and I am not cool enough to know inside people because I am halfway across the world. So I believe, and this is all speculation, folks, I believe in the way that Romeo also left it on his Twitter as well, they are going to have an ultimatum with Chiesa. Either he resigns in June or he gets sold. I think that's one of the trending things that's coming. Are you back yet, buddy?
Yeah, sorry, there was I don't know, internet connection. So
You
yeah,
look better
sorry
this
guys.
time around. Did you do your makeup?
No. No.
You're looking good anyways.
Oh, well, same with you guys. Thank you. So where were we at? Sorry, I don't know, but sorry about the internet connection.
You cut out when we were talking about the Chiesa contract. So I read just the tweet that Romeo Agresti said it was essentially Juve plan either to renew him before the transfer market starts, or they sell him during the summer if he doesn't renew. They're not letting him ride his final season with 1 year.
He's a little rough here. Anybody called Case a hater?
Yeah.
Like, oh man. All right. I didn't know he went hard on this one, but here we are.
I don't know why a lot of people don't want him. Like, I don't get it. For me, Chiesa non si tocca. So I don't know what people really want to talk about, but for me, he has to say. Then we'll see. Of course, they're not going to sell him, let him go for free, but I don't know. What are your thoughts, Santino? I know we've been back and forth, me and you, about the Chiesa situation.
Guys, Chiesa is what it is. I mean, anybody who watches football knows he's a beautiful player. He's got a lot of talent. For me, the problem is I think he's a walking Band-Aid. I don't think he's worth the money. I don't think he puts up the stats that he should put up. I mean, if he can stay healthy and pop those goals in, I don't want to see 8 goals a year. I want to see 15 goals a year for the money we pay him. I don't want to see missing 15, 20 games a season and injury prone. I want to see play the whole season. This is going on 1.5 years now, 2 years now, and the stats aren't there for me. The games played and the injuries, just it doesn't do it for me. Not that I don't like him. I love the guy. To me, I'm on the fence. If we sign him and we get him for the right money and he produces like he's supposed to produce, I love it. If we overpay, and he's continuing to be hurt and not playing the games and not popping in the goals, then I'm going to be upset. So I guess time will tell. That's the best answer I can give you.
I don't know. Like, I know even Saka Torier, he agrees with you, but slowly he's getting back on track. Like, I understand everyone's point. Everybody's afraid that then we're going to have another Dybala. But you know what I tell you? Whatever the Sociedad makes, hopefully do the right one, because I don't think you're going to sell him 60 million. So we'll see.
I think at the end of the day, what we all want is for him to just take that step up and become the player we know he can be.
Exactly.
Just like Vlahovic is now doing.
Exactly.
It's now your turn.
He just needs a Vanya like Dusan has. But kind of to piggyback off of what Santino is saying, there's a couple of things, right? And I think a lot of people forget this is when he was at Fiorentina, he was very inconsistent, very streaky. He'd be hot, he'd be cold, he'd be hot, he'd be cold. Because I can honestly say there was a good chunk of people when he got the transfer and Paratici brought him over here. Everyone's like, why the hell are we doing this as a deadline transfer day? Like, this makes no sense. And, for him, he popped off. And being objective, right? Like, I understand the boy crush that we have for Chiesa on the Euro, and that was just a magical run, right? Especially if you're Italian, it's an
Yeah.
incredible run. But we also need to take a step back and realize, so the Milan game under Pirlo was in January. Euro was until, I want to say, mid-July. About a 7-month span, right? And then before then, kind of choppy. Even with Fiorentina, kind of choppy. After that, kind of choppy ACL injury, you get a pass. We got to take a step back and remember he had a notion for being streaky. And one of the things now, one of my complaints for Mr. Chiesa is he's essentially the veteran in the front line, because Milik's a bench player. He knows what he is. He's there to come in for matches, get a goal or two, and move on. Where it's like Chiesa's essentially the captain of the forwards. He's older than Dusan, older than Keane, older than Kenan. He's the oldest guy there, but I see that there's still a lack of maturity coming from Chiesa. And that's one of the risks when you have a team of young superstars, right? There is that gap of maturity, because Dusan has had it. A lot of players have had it as well. And with him, and you weren't here, but we said Dusan did extend his contract. They're working. He's got the green light to extend it for another season to spread out the costs. That to me is a step in the right direction, that Dusan cares about what's going on here. And now it's going to be in Chiesa's court what Chiesa does, because Dusan's willing to spread out his wage and salary because he's committed to the project. If Chiesa's holding off because he thinks he can get a big payday, unfortunately, that's not the kind of Juventino players you want, right? We want guys that don't give a shit about the salary. Yes, I believe that they should be paid, right? Because what they're producing on the pitch. However, Chiesa is supposed to be a leader. You know, everyone thinks he's the next Capitano. He's going to be the next guy when he gets a little bit older. And when I'm looking at some of his decisions and the way that he kind of harasses some of his teammates on the pitch about, oh, here, this, do this, like, relax. You got to build everyone up around you, where it's like, you look at Kenan, and he's 18 years old, and he plays with a more mature attitude than Chiesa. I'm not saying he's a better player than Chiesa right now. Like, that's not where I'm going with this. But, like, for example,
Kenan, I'll see my thoughts.
Yeah, Kenan takes the ball, looks around, says, okay, let me see if I can get Deuce on this. Let me do this. Chiesa, to me, takes the ball, looks down, goes wide left, and then just yeets it into the box. It's just, there's a couple of things that he has the ability. I think Chiesa needs to get out of Chiesa's way.
I understand where you guys coming from, because I'm seeing here the comments, because Santino always says it all the time. He's a strictly injury prone for that money, and he wants to earn, he has to play consistently and constantly and consistently. I know everybody's lighting up because of this Yildiz. Like, I love Yildiz too. But don't tell me that he can take Chiesa's place. Like, so we're seeing the better kids. We see with the with the national team in the recent games, the Grinta back. So I won't took it, especially, I won't touch him, especially our boy Trimboli, who still needs some experience up front. I'm okay with Chiesa. Like, me and Trimboli, we get along fine. Then we have your paisano here.
If I can interrupt for a sec. For me, I'd like to go.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, I'd like to go forward with all three. Yildiz, Chiesa, and Vlahovic, but for the right price, and the mentality has to be in the right state of mind. If we can go forward with all three of these guys, they're young, they're all talented. Hopefully they stay healthy. I think Juve will be dangerous, but it's got to be for the right price.
Yeah, and of course, and kind of to add on this and what some of the guys in the chat are saying, there is an article, I believe it's Sky Sport Italia, where they're saying that Allegri is starting to consider Yildiz as the starter instead of Chiesa, which, if you put it into perspective, so let's put this into perspective. If you are essentially the Italian national team's X factor and you are getting benched by an 18-year-old wonder kid who is a rookie, that to Chiesa is, hey, I need to focus. I need to figure out what's ailing my legs, what's distracting me, what's going on, because I don't care what Interisti, Milanisti, Romanisti, I don't give a shit about what any of them say. Chiesa is the main cog of the Italian national team. He is. But Chiesa now needs to step up and be that guy, because we all know how Italy plays without Chiesa, and we all know how they play with Chiesa.
Exactly.
I understand that. You're not going to tell me that Domenico Berardi or Ciro Immobile or Scamacca or all of these guys, Barella and all these crazy dudes are apparently
Raspadori.
Yeah, Raspadori. Like Acerbi. Like you're not going to tell me that these guys are the most important guys that really, really give this team a different dimension. It's Federico Chiesa, but I need Federico Chiesa to be Federico Chiesa, not what's going on right now. I feel he's distracted. I'm concerned that he's bought into his own hype, right? Because like after that Euro, all over the place, 100 million this, 100 million that, yada yada yada. And I would love to see both of them play.
Yeah.
I would love to see both of them.
Yeah, he's the vice president of the Juventus club of Vancouver, my fellow paisano Silvio. A big Allegri fan, by the way. Silvio, Allegri out always.
Another
But
one
he
of us.
brought out
Very
a good
nice.
point. I don't know, guys. For me, Chiesa non si tocca. I'm sorry. Like, everybody can say what they want, but
We want to leave him.
we'll see.
He's got
What's that?
He's got to step it up too. Nobody wants to see Chiesa leave, but he's got to
No.
step it up too.
No, and
Well, the last game, he kind of stepped it up. So we'll see the next games, bro. Because Ildic, we got to be patient. Like, I like Ildic, but it doesn't mean now you got to put Ildic instead of Chiesa. Now everybody's getting excited. Like, you know.
If he's the best guy that week, you do.
I think it's good for competition. I think it keeps all these guys sharp, right? Like, for example,
But to keep a balance.
Of course, to keep a balance, yes. But I also think now Chiesa has competition. Chiesa isn't a lock on the start sheet.
Oh, yeah.
Because when Dusan got benched for Keane and Milik, I'm pretty sure that pissed him off as well. So that's one of the things that I'm appreciating what Allegri is doing right now is he is creating this competition. You know, he's not directly saying that Yildiz is the starter, but, you know, people near to him and all these tabloids, because, guys, players read all the stuff. You think we're the only ones that read it on Twitter and X? I'm pretty sure Chiesa's reading it and he sees Kenan Yildiz. You know, put yourself in that perspective, right? Something that you've been doing very well that you're noticed for, and then you just see this 18-year-old come out of nowhere and make you look like a joke. That's got to fire you up if you're a competitive athlete, which I believe Chiesa is.
There's a 7-year gap between the two.
Yeah. But finally, I'd like to put this famous Ildic because he never had a chance before. I saw him at Los Angeles. What a beauty. And now he's showing. So hopefully see him with the Lecce game. And yeah, I don't know what to say. I stick with my guns. I'm keeping Chiesa. And all you lovebirds, Chiesa haters out there, do whatever you want.
Nobody's saying to get rid of him, though. That's the thing.
No.
We just want him to do better.
No, people on the chat, are.
The people
Dave's going hard tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the people in the chat kind of want to go on this direction, which I think this is what I'm getting from them. Hey, come to the negotiation table, figure out a deal, because it doesn't matter what we want, right? If we can want him, we can want him sold. If he doesn't come to the table to negotiate this contract, Giuntoli says, I'm not taking a loss on you. You're gone. Which I admire that as a sporting director, right? Because we finally have a sporting director with balls. Where it's like,
con le palle.
Yeah, we're doing it this way. You're gonna play our game. I don't give a damn. He's like, we want.
Well, that's what we needed. So, yeah, it's an excellent up mentality at Juve right now. I'm all for it. Okay, Paisano, I agree with you. How can I tell you?
Next man up.
No,
that is Juve though. That is the Juve DNA. Like if you're not performing, if you're injured, who's the next guy up? Let's go. It's your turn.
What do you guys think about the Moise Kean rumors?
He needs a move, I think.
Yes.
I don't want to get rid of him. I'm okay with a dry loan, but I think at this point he needs one of those.
Yeah, I think, and to kind of piggyback off of Dave, he needs to go to a team where he will be able not to just play, but play a role on the pitch, right?
Every week.
So, like, for example, the reason why, and if Atletico move goes through, I'm okay with it because Atletico Madrid plays a worse terror ball than we do. It's Diego Simeone. They're knit, grit, low block, counterattacking footy. So what do? We might do a little bit more of a different approach on our end, but it's still the same thing. He's playing with a striker next to him, just kind of like what we have here. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
The reason why I don't want to sell him totally, guys, is I think if he's able to put together some good form, he will go for a price. He's 23 years old. He's not old.
Yeah,
at
because
all.
he wants to play the national team because he hasn't had that much minutes. So
Exactly. So
good luck on him.
I think, and with Correa leaving, his competition is going to be Alvaro Morata and Antoine Griezmann. He's going to have to beat one of those two guys if he can, which I think because Diego Simeone loves physical, bulky strikers, which if you've noticed Keane over the past couple of years, he has bulked up quite a bit. So I think that'll fit into what Diego Simeone wants. But
he would be the third choice striker in that situation, right? So he would be coming off the bench probably every week.
My only concern is I would have liked him more at Fiorentina because it's low pressure. It's not a large market because Atletico Madrid is, whether people want to believe it or not, Atletico Madrid is the third biggest team in La Liga. It's a high market. You're playing in Madrid. It is a big market team.
Yeah.
So, it's not as crazy as Benzema signing for Arsenal, but it is what it is.
Arsenal, I heard Benzema might join Inter, or is that just
it's
fake
looking
news?
like Arsenal. It's looking like Arsenal. Inter need to.
Oh, okay.
They need to do something because their ticket sales for the Super Cup are garbage because no one wants to.
Oh, garbage! Yeah, like it was really bad. One momento, guys. If you say Moise is a good come off the bench player, needs to be given a chance. I agree, but he wants to play the national team. So if he has his chance to leave, as Saka's an injury and mentality issue.
Apparently, according to everyone else in the locker room, Moise is a dirtbag.
He's the messiest locker.
Really?
I
never heard of that.
It was released on Twitter today.
Yeah, Juve did a video where they asked all the players coming up to training who's got the dirtiest locker. All of them voted for McKennie, or not McKennie, for Moise, and then McKennie was the second.
It was 8 for Moise, 6 for McKennie.
Yeah, it's funny. McKennie scared the living hell out of Dusan and made Dusan change his vote.
Yeah, and Chiesa picked up a couple votes too. So.
Oh. Okay, let's move on. We've been talking since the beginning of the show. Allegri this, Allegri out. Well, Allegri this and that. The news that I've been hearing this morning about Mr. Allegri, well, from yesterday to today, it was kind of confirmed that Juventus, they don't want to keep him for one more year contract. They want to extend. But in order to extend, they want to lower the salary. So I heard like yesterday 78 million. Then today I heard like 4 million. So we have to wait and see if Mr. Allegri is going to accept this lower salary. Then we all have to see, to all my fellow Allegriani out there, if he's a true Juventino. But my thoughts on this, I don't know if he's going to accept it or not, because while I'm seeing Allegri, he doesn't want to do anything, then maybe he might accept it. At the end of the day, if he stays, non mi muoio di fame, like I'm not going to die. But if he does not accept, if they have other options, rumors are still saying about Moto, because I don't think at this moment Conte is coming, because if they're lowering the salary to Allegri, not a chance Conte is coming. So, but if Allegri becomes like management, either this young coach comes along or whatsoever, it will be good too. Maybe do like a management thing, a techno coach, how you call it in English, I can't remember. So for me, I said it on my last show with the man himself, John Kroll, the president of the Juventus Club of Toronto and the coordinator of the JLC of North America. I said, it's not that I'm anti-Allegri. I just want to change whatsoever, which he agreed with what I said. And I'm saying that right now. But of course, all depends by the association, because Junta has been saying that he wants the young kids and the young coach. So let's hope whatever, even if they change Allegri, it has to be a good decision. So let's start with the man himself, Mr. Santino, because we're going back and forth about this. What are your thoughts about this, Mr. Santino Merenta?
I'll make it short and sweet. I don't even think Allegri wants to come back, to be honest with you, in my opinion.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, I think at the end of the season he's gone. I think we're gonna get a new coach. Yeah, basically short and sweet. I don't think he's staying.
That's what I think too. But let's wait and see. That's my thoughts. Then we'll wait and see how it turns out. Mr. Dash, what are your thoughts about this?
I got a couple of things. So
Okay.
I don't have that much confidence in a renewal with 4 million, 3 to 4 million. He makes 7 million. That's just a slap in the face. If he makes 3 million,
Yeah.
he would be on par
That's
with
what I heard today. But yesterday
yeah.
it's 7-8 million. So I don't know.
It's coming from Mateus Pug, and that sometimes he's hit or miss. So I think that's a little bit of a stretch if that's the case. I can understand a renewal at 6, 5.5 maybe, because currently right now, payment in Serie A, Jose Mourinho's tied with Allegri for salaries at 7 million, Inzaghi at 5.5, Pioli at 4, Rudi Garcia at 3, Gasparini at 3, Maurizio Sarri at 3. So I don't know. I think that'd be a little bit disrespectful for him to drop that unless he is willing to take it. As far as the renewal goes, I don't think he's going to get renewed for 3 years. I don't think he's going to get renewed for 2 years. I think it's just going to be a 1-year renewal. That's it, because it's easy for them to get out if they need to. It gives them a way out, but you're also not leaving them at the end as well. Like, what are we going to do? So if he gets renewed, it's a 1-year deal. I don't think Allegri gets sacked unless he has a monumental collapse. It would have to be just a catastrophic collapse. The only way Allegri leaves the club, to much of people's disappointment, is if he leaves himself. That is the only way. He might, if he pulls a domestic double, I could.
That's what I think too.
I could see him say, "Hey, look, I did it, domestic double. F you guys, I'm out. I'm retiring." But that opens up a very big problem, because who's going to be the next coach? And one of the concerns with getting the next coach is you need a coach who has a system that's quite similar to the formation that we're playing. Because with Motta plays a 3-4 or 4-3-3. That's a big change from what we're doing right now. As well as, like, for example, even with Italiano, even with Palladino, even with these other coaches, you got to be careful, right? You have a club that's on the progressive, on the up, and then when you pull out the rug like Napoli did with Spalletti, and you throw in a goober like Garcia, you tend to look at Napoli. They've imploded in a sense. So you got to be very, very careful with this. Part of me thinks that Allegri's ego will not let him leave until he completely maximizes what he gets out of this roster. I think he's going to be there for 2 years for sure, as much to people's detriment. I also think right now the other young Italian coaches are still too raw. I still think that there needs to be more sample. I think for Motta, started off well. He's this stretch of suspensions and player injuries is really going to test his capabilities as a manager, because he has not won in 4 games. So we'll see how he adjusts, right? Because that's the marking of a great manager. When everything goes well, everything's great. They're putting you on social media as this amazing coach. But then once the wheels fall off, how do you come back? I think out of all of the young coaches, the one that has shown the most progression is Italiano.
Sorry, your paisano here, he keeps on saying these things about Allegri. For me, he might leave. Then we'll wait and see. Then if you guys, with all the love and respect, but let's wait and see. Like, I agree with Dash, what he's saying. So, sorry, Dave, go ahead. Before...
we have to be careful, because it's like we're in his head. There's so many variables right now, right? That it's impossible to know exactly what's on the table. So we've heard more about him coming into a management role, like upper management, than we have him actually completely leaving the team. So perhaps there's some kind of bridge contract, right? Like there's so many different scenarios. So I'll just throw this one out for an example. They do a bridge contract. We're trying to amortize salaries, right? So maybe we are dropping his salary, but giving him another year or two to help transition the team. And then he goes and moves on to a management position. And then he can be, say, we get a Thiago Motta, let's say. And Allegri could be there to kind of bring him up that first year or two until he completely lets go of the reins. Like, why is that one not being discussed? Why is it like he's leaving or not leaving? Like, there's so many different variables, and there's still half a season to go, guys. Like, I think we need to just simmer down a little bit on this one.
No, but I just said it. That's what I heard too. Maybe he may be the management. Let's say if they bring a motor, then he can. That's what I heard too. I said at the beginning, so
Yeah.
I
So
get your point.
yeah,
So-
there's so many different variables, right? And at this point in time, you have to look. How much news was there today? Nothing. Okay, so let's make a crap article. Let's spread some rumors.
I love when Dave does this.
That crap always happens. Nothing happened today. Let's spew some crap. I need to make money. I'm a reporter. Let's make something up. I'm a creative person. I can make stories. Here you go. Here's my trash. That's what we get.
I kind of wanted to answer the one that says Conte. So one of the reasons why
Conte,
I think
Anthony.
it was Anthony.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So one of the
He's a
reasons,
Milan fan.
so one of the reasons why I don't think Conte will go back to Juve is one, I don't see him and Giuntoli seeing eye to eye. Conte wants, older players, senior veteran players. And I don't see him working with Giuntoli. The transfer budget that he wants to do with the project that Juve are doing, I just don't see it working.
Well, they are friends, Giuntoli and Conte. So, but what I heard recently, apparently Giuntoli wants a younger coach. So,
Yeah, everybody's friends behind the scenes, but just because you're friends doesn't mean you work well together.
true,
Business.
true. Business.
Dan. Keep going.
Let's go through the comments here, David. I think we will go for a young coach next time and none of the old names.
Gasparini's my favorite coach. I want Gasparini.
He's my favorite too, but a lot of people don't like him.
He fits with the current setup, right? So it's a really good idea. He fits with the current setup. It's whether or not he wants to leave Atalanta, because I think Gasparini could kill somebody and Atalanta won't sack him because of how much he's done for that club. So you would have to give him guarantees for him to leave, because he went there right after Inter kicked him to the curve and he took that Atalanta squad. And, in theory, Atalanta could have been a relegation side, but now they're a perennial Europa League qualification team. Sometimes they can push into the Champions League. So it would take a lot.
Just one second, I want to respond to my pastor. I did say after what I'm hearing that they want to drop Allegri's wage. Of course, they're not going to get Conte. Yeah, I heard from my sources in Italy that it's a slight chance that Conte won't join. So he might join Milan. I kind of find it hard for him to join Milan, but of course, they're going to look for a young coach, my friend. Maybe your boy Italiano, Sakat. Che ti devo dire? What do you think of the Zebi? I don't mind the Zebi. Even my last show, John Gross said that he wouldn't mind the Zebi, but is he going to leave the Premier League? I don't think so.
Dan's a Prem head. You got to watch out. He's
Yeah,
gonna
he's
going to give you all the
Premier
Prem
League fan.
questions.
So
I like a coach who actually wants something. Hey, Sakat, we need a change. Stop being safe. Mannaggia la miseria. Vuoi che stai sempre sicuro? Vai io. E che cazzo? Mamma mia.
You know when he's speaking the mother tongue.
Yeah, I know. I think so.
Well, he understands. You should hear Santino when he speaks Italian. Right, Santino?
I go off, buddy. I go off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm keeping it calm I'm trying to be civil for you gentlemen here. I'm keeping it calm.
Santino, don't worry about it. Last time I was at their show, Dave went off with one of my paisans, Joe Massi, the Interista. So don't worry. You can say whatever you want, bro.
No, surprisingly enough, they're actually saying things that I'm agreeing with, so there's no need to raise my voice. They're actually saying exactly what I feel.
Awesome. Because Anthony kind of mentioned De Zerbi at Milan, if Pioli does leave and that opening to Milan is there and De Zerbi doesn't take it, I am very concerned about De Zerbi being a top club coach in a sense, right? Because if he's staying at Brighton, with all due respect to Brighton, yes, they have a great scouting network. They're great at bringing in youngsters and flipping players, but that's it. Like that's pretty much what they are. They're not going to go. You might get a nice Champions League season finish one time, and that's it. Like for me, if De Zerbi is what the pundits and everyone were labeling him as, this, this Nostradamus, this philosopher of football, dude, he's 44 years old. You need to start looking at taking Roma of all teams, or even Lazio, for example, or maybe taking that step up, because Sarri did it. You can argue and say whether or not his career is successful or not. That's fine. Italiano did it where he went from Spezia to Fiorentina. These coaches are taking step ups. For me, he
Yeah.
went from Sassuolo, which went to Shakhtar, which theoretically is a step up, right? My concern is I'm worried that De Zerbi mentally wants to run away from high pressure situations. He said it himself in an interview. Giuseppe
Yeah.
has quoted it as well. I want positions that are less stress. So he went to Shakhtar. Shakhtar's technically a low stress. Unfortunately, circumstantial events happened there. So he left and he went to Brighton. Brighton's not a stressful job. You don't see him in the hot seat, even though they're in 8th or 9th place in the Premier League table right now. So I'm concerned. Everyone loved his style of football and et cetera, what he was doing, but you got to take a step up, man. For him to, and this was interesting because we did the math on one of our streams. For him to equal Allegri's trophy count, his career trophy count, De Zerbi needs to win 1 trophy for the next 12 years.
Yeah.
Can I jump in there for a quick second, guys?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Santino. Go ahead. All yours.
Can you guys touch on 2 subjects quickly for myself and for the chat, if you guys know? First off is the tournament this summer that potentially Juve will get the cash flow. Inter and Juve will be entering. How much
Are you
cash?
talking the World Cup tournament? The Club World Cup?
Yeah, the Club World Cup.
Correct.
That is a good question.
If you guys know about
try to search that up.
Do you guys know about the cash injection that Juve would potentially getting? And the second question, have you guys heard any news on Paul Labile Pogba and what's going on with him?
Okay, so right now,
Go ahead, guys.
we can answer it easily for you. So when it comes to the Club World Cup, we need Napoli to get beat by Barcelona in the round of 16 in the Champions League. If Napoli get eliminated, that qualifies Juve. Juve is essentially qualified, allegedly. So the numbers are just hard numbers. I don't know if they're true or not. Juve would receive an injection roughly around 75 million because of the tournament. I don't know. It's just speculation.
Yes, Sarkut is saying 60, 80 million.
So you need to drink on the tears of Napolitanos, and that will work for us. So if that happens, it'll work for Juve. They get into the tournament, possibly some exquisite transfers. And for Mr. Pogba, we don't know for sure. So what he's trying to do is what Alejandro Gomez did and Palomino did. Was they were saying that essentially they took, because what Pogba was taking, he wasn't injecting himself with just pure testosterone. People, because this is what I get irritated. People have this false narrative that Pogba was juicing. He wasn't juicing. He went to the United States because all professional athletes, all the good shit is in the US when it comes to professional athletes because of how it's just a sports science here. So he took something that was a muscle recovery, so something that would help with his muscle injuries. And unfortunately, I had a higher level of testosterone than it was anticipated. He didn't know about it. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to plead ignorance to it because, hey, I took this supplement. I didn't realize this is what the levels were. Unfortunately, he went to Florida to get treatment. And we have a resident Florida man in our group. Unfortunately, he says, don't take shit in Florida. So what Pogba is trying to do is he's trying to say essentially negligence in a sense in the case, which his suspension started in September. So if he was able to win this strategy, it would be a 6-month ban starting in September. So technically he would be back in March.
This upcoming March.
This upcoming March.
Okay. All right.
It's all conspiracy right now. We don't know for sure.
How do you guys feel about that if potentially he comes back?
If he comes back, it's a new signing, right? I think he's had 6 months to recover. Depends on how well he's been training, right? So if he's been keeping himself in shape and doing his thing, perfectly fine, right? He'll be a fresh new signing, and essentially you would be stupid not to pick Juve to win the Scudetto at that point. If he doesn't, it is what it is, right? Then Juve can cancel his contract, save the salary, because I believe they've reduced it to $2,000 a week now because they're allowed to. Because of
it's the minimum wage in Europe is what he gets paid, because that legally they have to do that. Yeah. So we'll see where that goes, but yeah, you need Napoli to lose, and you need the judge to rule in Pogba's favor.
So essentially, it's a win-win situation. We save it on the salary if he doesn't come back, and if he comes back, we get an extra signing and extra creativity in the midfield.
He's still on the team. We have to remember that if he wins this, he's still on the team. It's not like we're like, oh, we forgot about you. Screw you. No, I mean he's going to be reintegrated, and they have his picture posted up in the locker room, so the team wants him back. Like they're honoring him in the
course.
locker room still. So, I mean, yeah, if he's clean, he comes back, he's healthy, absolutely.
Yeah, if
he's gonna be fine.
if he's absolved and he's back to play in March, and that's when our schedule gets heavy. Because right now, February, we've got, besides Inter, we have maybe one or two more intense games, but March and April is when it starts getting heavy. So if we're able to get him back by March, that is going to be a very interesting run.
And this could be one of the reasons why we're not going in heavy for a midfielder. We're trying to save that money for the summer because we might know, the management might know, that Pogba may be coming back.
Yeah, that was one of the conspiracy theories that we did, I believe, last week on our show, where we were saying, what if Giuntoli knows that there's some credence to this whole being absolved from this doping case, that, you know, Pogba's actually innocent. That's why they're not making any heavy moves per se, because if there's going to be a heavy movement for a midfielder, it would happen roughly around this time, right? Juve, usually if they do a big January signing, it's the second to last week of January. And even then, Juve don't really make big signings. It's supplementary pieces. So maybe they know something, because, like, for example, with Lazar from Udinese, their main objective, Giuntoli's main objective, was to prevent him from going to Inter, or Napoli, which they accomplished that objective. He is coming to Juve. It's only a matter of when.
Yeah.
I hope not. I don't want Pogba back. No, thank you.
We're talking about Samardic. That was Samardic.
Oh, Samardic. Okay, sorry. Because I was looking at the comments. But for me, Pogba, no, thank you. But Samardic, I hope so. He comes in January, but we'll see.
He's not having a good year, Samardic. He's not having a good year at all.
I think he's checked out. Part of me thinks he's checked out.
Yeah,
Maybe,
and the team as a whole.
Well, that benefits Juve, right? Because they don't have to pay him that much, because they could use his performances.
Calvin Phillips
Phillips
signed with Ajax already.
Yeah. There's no news.
Bravo, Santino.
Yeah. I do have the numbers here in front of me, though, for the Club World Cup here. It's 50 million euro minimum. Reaching the round of 16 is an extra 9.6, and it will go up from there. And the winner will receive around another 100 million. So there's a lot of money at stake in this one.
And this is the Saudis, right? I think they're the ones that are hosting it. Saudis or the Qatari?
No, the Club World Cup, it's going to be in North America.
Yeah, it's the United States.
Oh, it's the United States.
Yeah, Santino, we got to go, me and you, huh? Well, I'm definitely down if it's next year. We'll see. Depends on my schedule, whatever happens.
2025, yeah.
On that note, guys, I have to bounce. It was nice meeting you guys.
You have to bounce?
Yeah, nice meeting you
Thank you for coming, Santino.
Forza Juve per sempre. We'll see what happens against Lecce, boys.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Pleasure.
No problemo. Thanks, Santino. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Sorry, I had to get off because with my headphones, because I'm doing everything on the phone and some internet issues. It's disgusting. So, I can't wait to buy a nice computer so I don't have to deal with this porqueria. Anyways, yeah. Well, you had issues too last Saturday with your computer, like with technology, man. It's pathetic, man.
No, I had to give it a clean, and I gave it the clean sweep, and she's purring like a little kid. She's purring like Gatsby all over again.
Meow, meow. Like how I do it. Okay, moving on, guys. We're talking about Juventus. I want to talk about a little bit this Lecce game. I don't know about your thoughts, because a lot of people, Juventino, complaining because apparently there's this famous referee, the name of Doveri. Me personally, yeah, that's a disgraziato. He's a brutto interista. What do you expect? But me personally, I don't care, because I keep on telling the guys, at this moment, Juventus, they don't care which referee is. We will break the system. So I know Lecce, it's kind of tough, because usually Lecce with the top teams, especially with that field, it's pretty hard. But I hope we have a good win. I will be happy 1-0. Even my paesano Lino Juventus, he's a YouTuber. No, dobbiamo fare cortomuso. We have to do a little bit cortomuso. Oh, Lino, please, I want to see more after 3-4-0. But we'll wait and see. But for me personally, I know the Marotta League and Gravin and company, they're trying to set us up, but we're not afraid of you. We're not afraid of you. And you guys are afraid of us, speaking of Interisti, because the beautiful quote from Mr. Max Allegri, cops go against ladri, le finanze va contro I ladri, which, by the way, let's give a shout out to Alberto Oyo because he did a 3-1-16, Allegri 3-1-16, you know, so that was beauty because after what he said, so that is a bellezza, like I tell you. Yeah, I said today. So I wouldn't be too worried. Let's all have some win. What are your guys' thoughts? Let's start with Dave about the Lecce and company.
Well, I mean, yes, I hate Dorverde. He shouldn't have a job. But I mean, we've talked about these people many times in the past, so we won't dwell on that. But all I've been saying since the whole refereeing thing has really been busting out here is all we have to do at this point is outplay the referees. Once we consistently outplay the referees, Inter will shoot themselves in the foot, and we will overtake for the lead. So. It's Valverde. This is going to be a tough match against the referee. The match against Lecce, I got no problems. We should have this one. We're good.
Yeah, I agree with you. Valverde, sometimes he does a good job, so I want to be... But, you know, some Juventini, even in Italy, they're overthinking about the referee. Guys, we're Juventus. Referee, Fangu, like, we're not scared of them, so... If we're playing how we're playing, smash the system, we get the job done. What do you think, Mr. Dash in the house?
Like you said, fuck the referees. Just play your game.
Exactly.
That's all you gotta do.
I'm trying to hold back a little bit. I'm somebody else's house. Here. You're just dropping the F-bombs.
Look, hey.
Well, it is what it is. When it's too much, too much. That's why I get mad and I keep on telling my fellow players, buddy, just enjoy the game. We're gonna be fine. Relax. Mamma mia.
I just kid.
Because if we go first, because Inter, they're already complaining what Allegri said about the last conference, you know, about the cops and the robbery whatsoever.
Robbers, yeah.
Even Inzaghi complained, really? But I heard someone today who was saying they're going to find another excuse, trying to invent something. But Mr. Mad Max, as much. I don't like him. He's getting back in action. So let's get in there. So, and besides that, I have nothing much in my head. Well, what about you guys? Any things that I left? There's so much going on these days with the news. Like pretty much, I think we covered everything.
I think we're good. I think we got it, Dave. I don't think we missed anything.
Yeah, nothing else is speaking. The crowd out there usually corrects us if we forget something. So
yeah, exactly.
Our pythons in Discord.
Well, now it's working Discord, so let's hope it works. One thing, you guys talked about the Supercoppa today, so there's not much to talk about for me. Quella è una porcheria.
Yeah,
I watched it. I think Dash was talking. It was very disgusting. Like 40,000 people. One of my buddies told me, Reno, my wedding, your wedding, there was more people than watching the Supercoppa. Well, I guess they need to bring it back. How you call it in Italy?
You know what they need? They need Juventus playing in it. That's what they need.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter where it is. If it's Juve, people will pay to see it. Nobody cares about Napoli. Nobody cares about Merda. Nobody cares about Fiorentina. Nobody cares about Lazio. This is one of the worst rated Supercoppas.
Tomorrow we got to give credit to Lazio. They got to beat the Merda. Let's hope.
Yeah, we hope. Of course.
We hope. Maybe to close it up, let's do a little, just for the top teams, a little prediction for the weekend of the Serie A.
All right.
Then we can close it up. Guys, thank you all for joining. Put a like and subscribe. Then, of course, to the Turin Giants. We have my boy here, Mirko, from Texas, a great Juventino, great. I like your friend as well. Finalmente sei riuscito adesso, Mirko. Madonna mia. Grande
Big
Mirko.
McKenny fan? Big McKenny fan, I'm assuming?
I don't know if he's a big Kenny fan, but he's a good guy. I like him. I haven't seen him for a while, but he's been showing up recently. Well, because now I'm doing the early ones. Probably on Monday I'm going to do a culture talk at 8 o'clock. So let's wait and see. Okay, moving on. You guys still hear me?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
we do.
Because I have my headphones, so I want to make sure. Let's start with Udinese Milan. I gave Udinese a nice 1-0 like last time. What about you guys?
Milan, I think, has found some form. I think I'll give them a 3-1. Milan 3-1.
I think this is a
For
trap.
who? Milan?
Yeah.
I think this is a trap.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a trap game. Udinese went to Fiorentina. They went up against Fiorentina twice in Florence. I think it's going to be a draw. I'll say a 1-1 draw between Udinese and Milan.
Okay, that sounds beautiful. Yeah, because there isn't that much games. Yeah, because Napoli and company, they're out. So let's say, oh, great man Trimboli, 2-0 Milan. Yeah, maybe. I'm just playing the, you know, Trimboli, my mindset game. So because there isn't that much this week because, because we have the Coppa Italia.
Yeah, the past couple weeks have been a little funny. So there's only 6 games this week.
Yeah, Mirko is wondering why it's called the TURIN Giants. You guys can explain it.
It's one of the names of Juventus. We're the Giants of Torino, right? Because there's the other team. There's the other team that, you know,
it's
Yeah.
one of the names that Juve won't get pissed if we use it.
Yeah, you can't use Juve or Juventus at all in your name.
You cannot use any of that.
No. So Turin Giants, it's just like you'll read books, like the books that are up here on my shelf, they reference Juve as the Turin Giants. It's just one of its nicknames. So we've adopted it for ours.
Well, Mirko, they're pretty famous. You should check it out. They usually do lives. You can look it up on Instagram, Twitter, I guess. Where else?
Everywhere but TikTok. We just don't.
Oh,
do
about TikTok.
We stay away from that.
Okay, I do TikTok.
We don't want them to steal our information.
So go check it out, Paisano. You'll like them. They're pretty cool. 1-1. Then we have Mr. Anthony, the Milanista. Udinese is never easy for us at Milan, but I think with the form we have beyond, I will say 2-1. Yeah, I'll give you credit.
Like I said, it's a trap game. Like, for example, with us in Genoa, like Genoa is a Juve trap game. Whenever we go to Genoa, it's difficult for us to play in Genoa. Same thing with Hellas Verona. Playing in Verona it's one of those games. Udinese is like that for Milan for some reason. It's just for some when they just play like they're Barcelona. I don't know why.
So it's the same with Bologna, Inter. Inter always have problems with Bologna, as we've seen at the Coppa Italia and company.
Yeah, so Miracle's from Torino, but never heard of it. I think it's an English thing. If I wanna guess where it originated, is probably from English broadcasting, probably in the 90s, because they always have those little sayings about teams. So if I was to guess, actually, you know what? I have the contact of one of the authors of those books. I'll ask him because he was in broadcasting. He broadcasted Italian calcio in the 90s for English television. So I'm gonna ask him, and he might know because he uses it in his book. I'll get back to you.
Mirko, I'll keep you updated, or you can message him through Instagram, and then they'll let you know. Not a problem, Mirko. I guess we just have to. We kind of call with Juventus. What's the score? I'd say 2-0 for Lecce. Sorry, for Juventus.
Yeah, I'd like retract. I was thinking that too, actually, a 2-0. You, Josh?
As I say, maybe 3.
Going for 3. All right.
I think 3 because Lecce is desperate. They're near the relegation zone. I think if Juve score first, it's going to open it up. And Juve's got way too much momentum right now to sit back and go 1-0. I mean, the way they played Sassuolo, they were doing a high press. They were forcing errors out of Sassuolo to get these chances. So I would want to say Juve goes for 3. Like this Juve offense right now, you're seeing a high press, high fast counterattacking play. I'd love to see Dusan get some more goals as well. So I would be shocked if it's 1-0. I really do.
Well,
But-
Mirko's calling it 4-1. He's pretty good with the prediction, so I'll give you credit this time, Mirko.
They're going to make us struggle. They will make us struggle initially.
Yeah, that's what I said before, because it's always a problem with the big teams, so let's wait and see. Anyways, well, I guess we'll wrap it up, my fellow paisans.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't
Whatever
like
you
to
wanna
wrap
do,
it up
your show.
myself personally, but yeah, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, just one moment. Just have to make sure players don't get on the field overconfident. Yeah, true. Saka 2-0. I can always be right, Reno? Yeah, you're right. You're playing the game. I said 2-0 this time, so we're being off because me and Anthony, we go back and forth. I always used the reverse. I always said Juventus use, Juventus lose. We go back and forth, me and Anthony. But he's using my strategy, so I said 2-0 now. He's saying 1-1, so maybe I might be right this time. So, anyways, thank you all in the chat. Thank you, Dave and Dash. Hopefully we can do another live again.
Of course, yeah.
Either mine or yours. I
Right.
promise you guys, so
We
I
could
had
do
the
it to
chance.
both at the same time.
Yeah, we could technically do it both at the same time.
What do you mean, like through StreamYard, with
Yeah.
the...
Yeah, we'll go to both their channels. You can do it.
Okay, if I'm free when you're available, or if you guys are free, then sure, not a problem,
We'll
man.
do it again. This
We'll
is
figure
not
it
the
out.
last time.
I still need to learn to do this, right? After next game, we're going to be the Ladri and the Bravo Mirko. Yeah, we will, after we win this game. Okay, my paisans, until then, fino alla fine, a casa tutti, Forza Italia. And I guess I will talk to you lovebirds soon. Bada bim, bada boom. Ciao ragazzi.